Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Ohio Guys here. I'm Christian Ocampo, and today I'm being joined by Ben Phillips. How are you doing, sir?
Hello. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, we appreciate having you here, especially your first ever interview. So, we got a few questions we'd like to ask you. First of all, what is it like working in the industry today?
I will say there's there are so many corners of the industry. So let me talk about first what it's like to work for Funimation. I've worked for Funimation for a lot of years now, not only in voice acting but also in the subtitling and QC departments, and it has been a dream come true. Everyone in the building that I've worked with personally, that I know personally, they all care a lot about what they do and care a lot about putting out the best possible product for the fans. And as speaking as someone who was an anime fan before I started working in the industry, that's something that I really appreciate. Something that means a lot to me, and something that I'm really proud that I'm able to be a part of. As to what it's like working in the industry as a voice actor specifically, um, like like a lot of other voice actors, I work on the stage as well as an actor. And when you act on the stage or on screen, a big part of getting cast is your physical type. That will almost always determine what roles you're auditioning for and what roles you'll be cast in. So to work as a voice actor in anime, the the breadth of roles that are available and the breadth of roles that you are actually able to play is a gift to an actor. I've played old men. I've played junior high school students. I've played terrible people. I've played wonderful people. I've played a psychotic priest. I played a singing bird man guy. Um, so that being able when you're doing this kind of work, there's really no limit to what you might be doing the next time you get called in. And for an actor, that's as good as it gets.
All right. So, next question. Since your time working with Funimation, what is your favorite show you have worked on?
That's a good question. That's a hard question.
Yeah.
In terms of the shows I've acted in, it would probably come down to the Calgary of School suite and more recently Golden Kamuy. I love playing both of those characters, and I love both of those shows a lot. I like comedy, and both of those shows have a lot of comedy. And the Makagura School Suite's more of a straight-up comedy. Golden Kamuy has a bit more drama and action thrown in as well. But those shows both made me laugh a lot, watching them and performing in them. And I would also like to mention a show that I'm not in, but that I did the subtitling and super titles for, and that's a show called Barakamon, which is a really funny, really charming little slice of life show that's about a calligrapher who goes off to this rural village on an island to kind of get his life together. And it's really funny. It's full of the kind of Japanese specific comedy and stuff like Ranma One Half, which was kind of the show that got me into being an anime fan in the first place, or Azumanga Daioh, or something like that. So that's a show that I really loved. And there's a sequel to that called Honda-kun. Both of those I would recommend. And I also want to mention the character, one of my favorite characters that I played as well, is Fried Selzen from High School DxD, which is the aforementioned crazy priest. That role, that that was probably the most out there character I've ever played in terms of the energy level and just the kind of psychopath that he was. and that was one of the first roles that I ever played that was categorized beyond like a bit, and there was really a lot to it, and it was really demanding. So I'm really grateful to Colleen that she trusted me with it.
Excellent. All right. Got a question on the shows. What was it like working on Overlord?
Overlord, directed by the wonderful Kyle Phillips. No relation. Brother from another mother, we'll say that. I love working with Kyle. In Overlord, I played Dine Woodwonder, and what I loved about playing Dine was that he was the big guy in the group, and the cliche would be for the big guy to be the brawler, the tough guy, and Dine was just about the exact opposite of that. I mean, he could throw down if needed, but he preferred to be the druid, the protector, the guy who took care of everybody, and the guy who could lay down some words of wisdom of sitting around the campfire with his friends. So I really like that about him. I would say he's probably, of all the characters that I've played, the one maybe that I admire the most. I really liked him a lot, and I loved getting to play him. I loved being part of that show.
Excellent. And since you mentioned Golden Kamui,
yes,
what was it like working on that show?
Golden Kamui is I've described it as an action comedy drama treasure hunt cooking show. So it's got a little bit of everything, and it's wonderful. I love just watching it, and I love getting to be a part of it. And I love Shiraishi, my character, the Escape King. He's kind of the comic relief of the show, so it's fun to play that, and it's fun to get to be a part of the show in that way. But he's also got a little bit of an air of mystery to him, where you're not exactly sure where his loyalty really lies. So I really like getting to play that character. I love working with the director, Jeremy Inman. He's a very thoughtful director, and when you do a take, he gives it a little bit of thought. He says, "Okay, now Ben, give it to me this way," and he's always spot on.
Excellent.
So nothing to complain about with that.
Nope, you really can't. All right, another of your favorite show that you worked on was like working on Calgary of School.
Calgary of School Suite. That I would love it if you haven't seen that. If anyone watching this hasn't seen that, please go look it up. It's really a hidden gem of a show. It's really funny, and it's got a great ensemble cast of characters in it. And Sonny Strait directed that show, and I'd actually never met Sonny before that. He had heard me in something and thought it would be good for the character, so I was really grateful and appreciative to him for thinking of me for this character, because it's another one that's just all over the place. He is hyperactive, excitable, loves his cousin. Many would say too much, but he raps a little bit. That was one where every week it was like, okay, here's what's going to be this week, and that's a wonderful opportunity to get to do something like that. So yeah, that show is near and dear to my heart.
All right, and another question. Here's one that's kind of special in its own. What was it like working on Star Blazers 2199?
Star Blazers, directed by the super chill Jerry Jewell. Love working with him. When you get I don't think it was lost on anyone the significance of getting to work on a franchise that we've all known for as long as Star Blazers. So that in itself was really important and really special. And the character that I played in that show was Yabu. And Yabu, if I had to give you like a shorthand reference for Yabu, I would say Eeyore. You know, he was kind of the sad sack among the group, and he's always, you know, he was kind of like, oh, you know, is this really going to work? You know, are we going to be okay? Can we really do this? And, you know, so I could relate to him a little bit. I could relate to that. I could see where he was coming from. So I enjoyed playing him. And without spoiling anything, I'll say that Yabu's path takes a bit of a twist over the course of the show. So that was really fun to play because he takes a turn that you might not expect, but yet you can see that he's still the same guy that he's been all along. So that was a fun one.
Awesome. Another interesting show in this question list. What was like working on Recovery of an MMO Junkie?
That one was a lot of fun. That was directed by Cliff. Always a pleasure working with Cliff. Let me see. I played Pokotaro in MMO Junkie, and the fun thing about that was that Pokotaro was an avatar. You know, a lot of the show took place within an MMO RPG. And so a lot of the characters that we were playing were avatars for people in the real world. That's the premise of the show. And the avatar of Pokotaro and the avatar of Himeralda, who was played by Brandon McGinnis, the players who were playing as those avatars were a husband and a wife in the real world. So that was fun to play around with, and it was kind of fun to think about, okay, who is this person who's playing me, and, you know, expressing that person through this character who's actually nothing like them. And my favorite thing that we did in that show was there was one episode where it was actually the player for Himeralda who was playing as Pokotaro. So that the players were actually switching the players that they were playing as. So I had to switch it up because it was a different person playing me. It wasn't the husband, it was the wife. So we kind of listened to what Brandon was doing as Himeralda and used that as kind of an influence for what that person would sound like playing as Pokotaro. So that was a fun thing to play around with, definitely.
Yeah, it's a very unique show in itself.
Absolutely.
All right, now it's time for our fun note question. We like to ask everyone, if you could be any character you have played in real life, who will you be? And you can mix match.
Okay. This is like separate from the actual context of the show, right? So yes. It's if I pick somebody who, let's say, dies in the show, then I don't avoid picking them because they're dead, right?
Right.
Okay. So separate from the context of the show, I tell you, there's a few that come to mind. King Fernando in Garo is one that comes to mind, but only because of his age and he's got a couple of health issues. So I'm going to say I would like to be Dine Woodwonder from Overlord, but with the king status of Fernando. I think I'll take that.
Works fine. All right. So is there anything else coming out that you can talk about, or anything you want to plug in at this time?
Let me say. Well, speaking of King Fernando, the Garo Divine Flame movie I believe just came out on Blu-ray DVD. We just had a little premiere party for it. I'm King Fernando in that. Star Blazers 2199 is either out or will be out shortly. They just announced, I believe, MMO Junkie will be out in the fall. And all of Golden Kamuy is now available on Funimation, all of the first season of Golden Kamuy. So if you haven't if you haven't seen that yet, go to Funimation and watch it. And if you like it, just let Funimation know you want to see season 2 as well. There'll be a second season coming in October, I believe.
All right. And now we've come to our last question. So for this one, any Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any other social media for the fans to contact you?
Not on Instagram. If you're interested in following me on Twitter, you can follow me at Benaphil. That's BENAPHIL. And if you'd like to see me at your local con, please let them know.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. We, the Hot Guys, appreciate you for joining us for this interview.
I appreciate you. Thank you again.
Yeah. And I want to thank our viewers for tuning in for another episode of the Ohio Guys. Thank you all. We all appreciate it. I'll be signing off now. I'm Christian. And he's Ben.
Bye.
Bye.
That's me.